A new project aims to help those who age out of youth protection. It's called Agora Declick, and it's a place to live, study, and receive support. Marc Fortin is the chair of the board and joins us now. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for your invitation.
So, what usually happens to people who age out of youth protection as it is now?
Well, the thing is that at 18, because they come from, a family environment that is not stable, they just get out of there and they have a list of resources where they can check for if they want to go to school. There's a resource that exists. If they want to, find a place to stay, they have to manage that themselves. So they're a bit left to themselves, and they have to find solution based on their situation and the fact that they're not that, with a solid entourage. So that's the thing that happened now, and they have to manage silos by silos what they need to try to be stable in the society.
So your idea is to create like a university campus. What are the advantages to having
Exactly.
everyone together?
Well, the thing is, under the same roof, you can study, you can receive the psychological services you need, but you can also live there. And the thing is, at Agora Declick, at Declick, we help kids for more than 30 years, but we don't know where they go at night after having benefit from our service to help them, go back to school or get a diploma. So with at the Agora Declick, we have them with us, and the fact that they have a place to stay at the same place that they can study, well, they don't have to manage all the stress around the housing, and they can be more focused on going back to school and getting the services that will help them. And that's a thing that is really important. The housing aspect of that is really stabilizing, and they can have all their minds on the fact that they want to go back to school and they want to get their diploma, and they want to figure what they can do and what they want to do in life, and they deserve that as much as any other kids. But when you're a kids in a normal environment, you have your parents, you have models around you that help you figure what you want to do and how you can do it, and that's what the click can play a role, and with the Agora and the housing aspect of it, even more.
Yeah, provincial data shows by age 21, only about a third of youth who came up in youth protection had graduated from high school. I mean, your organization has a long history of helping people with school. Is the idea to culminate everything to kind of together?
Exactly, and more than that, a third of them will finish on the streets before the end of the first year when they go out of the system. So having them, playing a role right at the breaking point will help a lot of them to figure to forget about the stress and focus on the good thing. And that's exactly what we want to do with this campus. We want to help them on the three important aspects, because that's young kids that have a lot of trauma, and they need a tailored approach, and that's what we can do. We can have flexible way of going back to school, figure what they need to succeed, and having them at the same place on this campus that is dedicated to their needs, and that really simplify their trajectory.
We don't have a lot of time, but I do want to ask, you mentioned trauma. After potentially years of being in the system, what incentive do young people who have gone through DPG have to going to you instead of maybe going off on their own once they are old enough?
Well, they need to their self-esteem. They need to understand that they deserve it as much as anyone else, and nobody in their surrounding them tell them that. And, for having met some of them, they don't figure that they're allowed to go to school, and they're allowed to find a job that they will like. So it's really the regular system make a job, but it's a one-way approach, and those young person have all their different stories, their different traumas. So we have to be really at listening to their needs one by one, and that's the approach of Declick since 30 years. And that's where, in the last 10 years, when we get that the housing was so much an important aspect to get them, a stable situation. That's where we add that, to be able to accompany them one by one with a really soft approach to bring them get their objective, figure their path, and figure what they need to succeed and to achieve their goal.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Marc, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.